Bill Maher talked about how he went into the blowjob room, which is, the Clinton room that's off the Oval Office.
I was not aware that that's what it's referred to.
It's now the merch room where Trump keeps all his merch. This is a true story. This is what Bill Maher said.
People seem to forget that he is a 80s and 90s New York real estate mogul.
There you go.
I think people seem to forget he's a coastal elite.
Trump is a coastal elite.
The platonic ideal of a coastal elite.
People are giving Trump too much credit. Watch the Bill Maher thing through, being genuine, watch the Bill Maher thing through, and tell me if you got the impression that Trump is a masterful, calculating manipulator. I just don't believe that he is. I watched Bill Maher's monologue about his Trump White House visit. And it went exactly as I expected, and Bill Maher reported it exactly as I would have expected it to go. So this is really interesting. Okay, so Bill Maher.
This 12-minute clip?
That's the clip. I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
So, but
I haven't, so
we don't have to watch it. I'll give you the highlights.
Don't misrepresent it.
So Bill Maher went and visited Trump at the White House. I'll remind you that Trump has said many, many, many negative things about Bill Maher over the years. In fact, Bill Maher brought a list with like 80 things on a piece of paper, all the tweets that Trump has said about Bill Maher. And Bill Maher brought that piece of paper to the White House and Trump signed it for him. And they were laughing about it. I've heard this many times before, actually, from various people who meet Trump like one-on-one in person, that Trump is a pretty cool cat. He's funny. He's aware of himself. He's aware of the game. He's aware of the insanity around him and kind of all that happens. But Trump sees the whole thing as a show. He really sees the whole public perception thing as a show. And the key moment in that Bill Maher monologue that I want you to understand, and I want everybody to understand, Bill Maher went in, and he's not a Trump fan especially, and he explained, Trump was really open-minded, and we laughed, and we joked about things. And Bill Maher talked about how he went into the blowjob room, which is, the Clinton room that's off the Oval Office.
I was not aware that that's what it's referred to.
It's now the merch room where Trump keeps all his merch. This is a true story. This is what Bill Maher said. And
is that an upgrade or a downgrade?
I think it's a similar grade.
It's maybe it's a lateral move.
Yeah, it's a lateral move.
Okay,
It's still whoring yourself one way or another.
Fair.
It's the whore yourself room is what that room is.
Yeah. When you need to sell yourself, that's where you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Bill Maher brought up a couple of the negative things that Trump has done over time, and Trump, he took it, nodded his head, said, yeah, maybe that's true. And he kind of like rolled with everything, and Bill Maher reported it. And I really believe Bill Maher in the way that he reported that meeting that he had. Again, for 2.5 hours, he gave him a tour of the whole White House. I think that it's really the case of there's Trump, the person behind the scenes, and that he's a pretty likable guy. I think he's also a generous guy. I think he gives out money to people and, he tips people and he helps people. He's a billionaire, so he can do that with people. So that one-on-one in person, maybe a good guy to be in the room with for, half an hour, an hour, a couple hours or whatever else. I think the problem that Bill Maher had was just a couple hours later, Trump is giving a speech and he's standing up at the podium and he's, doing his Trump angry thing. And Bill Maher is making the point of that guy that I was hanging out with at the White House for a few hours was entirely different. In fact, he called him Glinda the Good Witch. Versus the bad witch is, the public guy. But the public guy is completely just a show. It's just like the showman thing, the same as when he was on The Apprentice. And he's literally doing it now as president, the same thing. But here's the worrisome thing, is that it's clear that Trump doesn't have a fantastic handle on everything. He didn't on The Apprentice, the show The Apprentice. He did not, because I've been watching The Apprentice. I'm going to reveal something to everybody right now. I've been watching The Apprentice rerun on because it's on Amazon now.
Oh, it is? Okay.
By the way, The Apprentice has not been available streaming anywhere for years.
Weird.
You could not find the show. And it was an interesting show. It doesn't hold up all that well now, but still, though, it's interesting to watch Trump in that environment. You can really see what, Trump, the showman, is.
Yeah.
And how it translates to him now as president. Here's the point that I took home from the Bill Maher explanation is that Trump really doesn't know what the hell is going on with things. He doesn't.
There's no way.
He doesn't watch the news.
That's so clear he doesn't.
Like we watch the news, where we watch Fox, we watch MSNBC, we watch all these things. We're watching
He gets
Twitter.
shown tweets by staffers, and that's where he gets his news.
You got it. He's shown what they want him to see, what they want him to react to, or the important thing is he's told, Mr. President, here's what's going on with this, here's what's going on with that, and here's what we think that you should do. There's another guy in the room says the same thing. Yep, I agree. I think we should do this.
And it's all curated by yes men to make him happy.
You got it. So the people around Trump truly are the people that are steering the course.
His handlers, in a way.
His handlers, right. His handlers are the ones who are steering the course of our policy.
Yep.
Which is ironic because it's literally the thing that they were accusing Biden of the whole time, that Biden wasn't doing anything, that it was the handlers around him were the ones who were steering the course, who were running the presidency, when really that's what's happening now. You can't golf 28 times and think that there's deal making that's going on the golf course. Bullshit. The thing that's happening is these handlers are saying, here's what we think you should do. You need to sign this. Here you go. You sign this paper. Here's your talking point. Trump does it. He repeats, the talking point. It's not that Trump doesn't have opinions about things and ideas about things. I think he does steer some of it.
Here's a fact I want to add about that.
Please.
People seem to forget that he is a 80s and 90s New York real estate mogul.
There you go.
I think people seem to forget he's a coastal elite.
Trump is a coastal elite.
The platonic ideal of a coastal elite. People seem to forget that. And if you look back...
He was a Democrat for 30 years.
When he's talking about the Confederacy, because there was a pro-Confederacy march, and he talked about it, and he came out as I fucking hate the Confederates. He was educated in New York. He went to college in New York. He lived in New York. He's all his friends were Democrats. It's a second order issue to him. First order issue is, I want claps. Probably is about it. I just want people to say yes to me.
I want what?
Applause. I just want claps.
Oh, claps. Yep.
Applause, clap. People say yes to me. That's what he wants first. Just to be...
He wants adoration.
Adoration. He wants to feel like the boss in the room.
Yes.
That's his first priority.
He wants significance first.
Second, he did not grow up in Texas. He grew up in New York City.
New York City,
so
always.
When you strip the ability for the first order issue to take place, you remove it. You're isolated with him, and you're not a political person. You're just a human. Then the New York real estate mogul comes out, which is a different person.
And I would add to this, though, that he's a nearly 80-year-old version of that guy. So he's tamer and more kind of
not near
lower energy,
just tired. It can seem probably to Bill Maher that it's he's a chill guy or whatever. It's you're talking to an 80-year-old narcissist who's can't narcissism right now because there's no way to. So he
doesn't have to anymore.
So you're insulated from the bad stuff, and he knows you're in awe walking around the White House, so he doesn't have to try. His big dick move is, I get to walk you around the White House, and I get to stay here tonight. That's his power move to Bill Maher.
Bill Maher, he pushed back on a few things, though. He said, look, Trump, it was your fault that this thing happened. It's your fault that that thing happened. He's like, you know what? You're probably right about that. He kind of took it. He took everything in. He didn't fight back against Bill Maher and some of the comments that he made. In fact, they even laughed about a few of the kind of the negative things that have been going on. So I mean, it's just a show. It's really just a show.
But I think that if Bill Maher is omnipotent in reporting 100% truth, it's still as horrible and evil as if Trump was actually that person at the podium. Because if he's putting on just a show, you are the U.S. president, you can't just put on a show.
Greater issue you're talking about.
It's just as bad.
I know.
To remember, right?
I know. It's the greater issue.
If he truly were who he was when he's talking about Democrats and Zelenskyy, if he was really that guy behind closed doors, horrible. If he's faking it because he just doesn't care and he's just going to destroy shit because I don't give a shit, whatever, just as bad. If you're a host on The Apprentice, doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever. It's a TV show.
It's a reality TV show.
Okay, so let me ask you this, though, then, because I can see where you're going.
Yeah.
So do you think it's a good idea for Bill Maher, or really anybody on the left, not necessarily that Bill Maher's on the left, but I feel like he's a little more left than right. But
left of center.
I think he's left of center for sure.
Very center, though.
But he's very center. He's very, yeah. So do you think it's a good idea for Bill Maher, or let's say, let's pick somebody, Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I think if you loose Jon Stewart into the White House like that, you get a very different answer of what went on. Not because Jon Stewart is like some argumentative, combative radical. I just think Jon Stewart has like a principled spine. And I think Jon Stewart comes out with a massively different opinion in situation. Jon Stewart doesn't stay for 2 hours because he gets kicked out. Probably, right? I
feel like Bill Maher said things that should have gotten him kicked out. If you watch that monologue, all right, so here's what we'll do. Let's link it. You should watch it. It's fascinating. It's worth a 12-minute watch. I encourage everybody to do it. Bill Maher at the end, he closed it out with, I actually have a fraction, a tick upward of hope that the crazy man who stands at the podium and says, immigrants are terrible, that there's actually something else behind him that may be reasonable, which won't fix everything, but it may help to shift a few things in a slightly more positive direction for us. And so should we be engaging Trump or not? I'll leave it to people in the comments.